Hi everyone, welcome back to Oh Sugar. My name is Elise Gamble, and today we're going to be making a sugar-free gelatin cake. So grab your juice boxes and let's go. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me back. So Easter is coming up, and we have some family coming up into town, and I'm really excited. And I'm going to be hosting, so obviously we'll have the ham, deviled eggs, a whole bunch of like already diabetic-friendly items. But I also wanted to make a dessert. Now, mind you, I am not a baker, so this is going to be our dry run. But I wanted to make a sugar-free gelatin cake. I found the recipe on my Facebook group and I kind of tweaked it to do some things that make a little bit more sense for me. But um, some of the things that you're going to need are 4 eggs. I like to get the organic kind. They just like the yolks look more yellow, right? You're going to need, it said to have Cool Whip, but I really just like whipped cream. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of butter, a zest of 1 lemon. You're going to need some baking powder, some vanilla. You're going to need some sliced almonds. You can use walnuts or no nuts at all, but whatever tickles your fancy. I don't know if they say that anymore. Some sugar-free Jello. You can get this at any grocery store. It's fantastic, and they also have sugar-free pudding. Um, some almond flour, which is a staple in any sort of diabetic's house, and monk fruit. So this is going to be your like sugar, your cane sugar type of substitute. So what I've already done is I've gone ahead and greased a baking pan and started my oven at 350. Next, I am going to go ahead and whisk all of my flour and my lemon zest and my baking powder together. So I need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Let's find that. And I'm not sure how this is going to affect our sugars, but again, this is going to be our dry run. Well, this is actually kind of not a dry run, so cheers. I hope that you have a glass of wine while you're baking. I've had one half of a week. William, despite our sleep training, has decided that he really likes to be out while he's sleeping. So, cheers to all of you. Um, so we'll go ahead and put our baking powder away. And then we're going to need 2 cups of our almond flour. Now, they say never to pack flour, and my husband gets mad at me if I ever do. You should see us trying to make pancakes together. It is quite a scene. I try to make it as level as possible. There's one. Um, here's 2. Okay. And then we're going to zest up 1 lemon. Make sure that you wash them really well. You don't know how many people have like picked up your lemons in the grocery store, or what's happened to them during transportation. That's gross to even think about. At Trader Joe's, they have a really nice vegetable wash, but vinegar works just as well too. Um, oh, oven's ready. That was fast. So, yeah, again, going back to sugars. I'm not sure how this is going to affect my sugars, but I am excited if I stick to like my basics and I don't go and have like huge, you know, rolls or something like that. I think I'll be able to afford to have some extra sugars for Easter. And I think we're going to try to do a big kind of an egg dish for breakfast, but that'll have some carbs in it because it'll have some bread and stuff. So I'm going to have to just be watching my sugars all day. Tell me how you guys manage your sugars during holidays and stuff, because I really haven't had to do a big holiday yet. Like we had Christmas and stuff, but I was a new mom and we were all just kind of, um, yeah, like sleeping, like it was just done. So, okay. So we've got our baking powder, our lemon. Oh, no. They said to whisk it together, so I didn't really need a spoon, I guess, but okay. So, if anybody has really good whisk technique too, that might be nice to know. I don't know if you guys uh, ever follow Andrea Znoy, Snoy on Facebook, but she has got these amazing, delectable treats. And she tries to do things that are like friendly to um, like people with certain allergies and stuff. So she's somebody to watch on Facebook, definitely too. Okay, so I've kind of whisked these all together. Now I'm going to go ahead and melt this butter. Normally I'd put it on the stove, but right now I think I'm just going to go ahead, put it in the microwave to get it done. And then we're going to mix in our sugars. So we'll add 4 eggs. I always like to do the eggs first in case there's something wrong with them. I don't know, maybe that's weird. That's me. Like, I don't know if you've ever broken open an egg and you're like, what is that? So maybe it's just me. But yeah, I always do my eggs first. 4 eggs. Eggs I love. I've been eating a lot of eggs lately. It's never that big of an egg person, especially because they make my house smell really weird. But now that I'm a diabetic, it's like I'll have it on my salad, I'll have them whenever. Okay. So we have. Okay, let me go wash my hands and I'll be back. I'm gonna kind of whisk it together, my eggs. I don't know if you can see this deliciousness right here, but 4 eggs is a lot of eggs. It makes me happy. That means there's protein in it, which, like your doctor always says, you want to make sure you have like carbs, protein, fiber, all of that every time you have a meal. So protein. I'm going to go ahead and say this is a good one for us. Okay, and then we need to have, yep, our 2 tablespoons of melted butter, which just kind of microwaves the heck out of. And then we need a teaspoon and a half of some vanilla. And my teaspoon. One and a half. Does anybody ever drive you nuts when they call it diabetes? They think it's funny. My husband does that all the time. It is totally inappropriate. Like, don't say that. He's not the diabetes. No. And then we're gonna do a half a cup of, oh, nope, that's my flour, of my monk fruit. This you can, again, find at any grocery store. And what we're going to do is we are going to, I used my half a cup at dinner, so we're going to do 2/4 cups. Okay? So we'll go ahead and mix this all together. And then, unfortunately, I don't have a bigger bowl, but you're supposed to mix the dry stuff into the wet stuff, but I think my bowl is too small because my other bowl was in the dishwasher because I used it at dinner again. So I was ill prepared for this, but my son's sleeping and I have time, so just keep drinking that wine, it'll all be fine. So I guess I'm just going to kind of slowly, yeah, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. If I run out of room, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to add some dry stuff into my wet stuff, keep mixing that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to bake this for 20 to 25 minutes at 350 degrees, and then we're going to pull it out and let it sit for 10 minutes. And what I'm going to be doing in the meantime is I'm going to boil a cup of water and put my Jello into it and let that dissolve, but just let it sit. Don't put it in the fridge or anything. We want that to still be a liquid. And we're going to kind of pour it onto the finished cake because your Jello will, I mean, obviously Jello is fine. And the sugar-free makes it, let's see how many carbs there are in here. There's 4 servings and there are 0 carbs. So I love it. I think that the pudding has more than that, but that's okay. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and add almost the rest of this. If anybody else has some good recommendations for baking, I gave up chocolate for Lent, and I'm really excited to have some chocolate for Easter, but I can't find any good sugar-free chocolate chips at my local grocery store, so if anybody has any good chocolate recipes with maybe just like cocoa powder or something, please send them my way. All right, And we're almost done. Also, I don't know if we should talk about this now, but the lack of sleep on sugars, I think, severely impacts it. And I'm excited to talk to you guys about that in the future because I think it's real. Yeah. So I'm using a 9 by 13 pan. I think that should be enough or big enough because I want it to be kind of a thin cake because I don't want, it's hard for me to control myself. I don't know about you guys, but like if I'm like, okay, I'll just have like a very small square and it's thin, then it's okay. But if you have like this big old honking thing, anyway. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna put this in my already prepared baking sheet and into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes and get my water boiling for my jello. And then, I hope that did not wake the baby. Oh my gosh, that would be so sad. Okay. So, and then, yeah, get my jello going. And then I'm going to let the cake sit for 10 minutes after it comes out. And I will be back to show you guys the next step. Cheers. All right, we are back. So, I have had to switch it into an 8 by 8 because it actually was too thin in the 9 by 13. But it looks like it'll be okay here. What I'm going to do is what I have done is I have boiled my jello and made jello water. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke about 40 holes in here. And I am going to put in, kind of like I don't know, pour in the jello. And then I'm going to let it sit overnight. And then I will go ahead, well, you're supposed to let it sit overnight, but I don't know. I'm really craving this right now, so we will see. But you're supposed to let it sit overnight and then put on the whipped cream. So it's like nice and cool and it doesn't melt the whipped cream and then the almonds. So I will let you guys know when I eat it. But I'm really excited. I think I'm going to probably take about 1 unit of insulin. And right now my sugar is at 115. So I will go ahead and take 1 unit of insulin because I'm at 1 to about 15 to 20 units of carbs. So as you can see, I put in a whole bunch of like little holes, just kind of made some little holes there. And then what I'm going to do is pour this right on here. So it tries to get into the holes. So yeah, you're going to want to let this get really in. Oh, it's already starting to gelatin already. Glad I got this here. Okay, let it cool for a little bit. The one thing I really like about this pan, I'll have to look up the brand of it, but it has like a little lid that just goes right on it. So anyway, I will be back when it is all set.